Jayagat! Welcome back to my art channel. I'm so happy to see you again. I don't know how the heck you are here again, but I'm glad to see you. So let's start with our art of today. Today we are doing a new character, a brand new character that I've been wanting to do a long time ago. Specifically, this character. Her name is Kali. When I was inspired by Kali, I was thinking about I wanted like a captain that has like a, if you can call it like Hawaiian or beach type, that's how I call it. Well, you know how people from the beach have like a certain type of dress? Yeah, I wanted her to give those vibes, like a little bit of beach, but in a way of a captain warrior there, like attacks and works in the military basically, because everybody is allowed to kind of have their own fashion, kind of like superheroes. They can dress as they want, kind of. So there's like some codes they have to follow depending on what class they fell on, which is five of them. We have the keep warriors, the high class warriors, the heavy warriors, and the sage warriors, and the speed warriors. I think the speed warriors is very self-common, understandable. They are the people that are really fast. The high class warriors are usually the captains, and the keep warriors are the ones they have like weapons that are attached to their bodies. Heavy warriors are the more the attack on defense heavy, and sage warriors are basically the wizards. So me, as a person that study fashion, I'm also all the time thinking of the vibe of the person, how they will dress, what type of clothes they would like to have, and all that kind of stuff. But also a clothes that will fit on where they're gonna go. So for example, if you're gonna go to the beach, there's a certain type of clothing for that. Or if you're gonna go to a fancy gala, you're gonna dress a certain way. So hers like something fits in her vibes, but it also has to be fitting on the captain side. So this is why I end up with this fashion collection. And since I study fashion, there is no way I cannot see nothing without, like, it has to make sense. Like somebody must be able to construct it and make it in fabric. It cannot be this fantasy stuff. I mean, it can be, but how I say this, I am super conscious of if this clothes is gonna work while they're fighting, if this is gonna fit, comfortable, not comfortable, if it's like something super uncomfortable, they're actually not gonna let them fight. Now, I can leave some suspense on for a little bit of high heels, cape, here and there. For example, these clothes, they don't look like it has resistance, but I got you there, because actually the captains, the color white is what they help them and protect them the most. That's why captains, you always see them with white and gold and metals. I got you. I think all this stuff. If they have some other type of color, it's like very little. In her case, it's like a little bit of red. They can have a little bit of red or blue, but the principal color is always white and gold. That's it. That's why any captain you see, Sakura-chan, stop. Sorry, that's my cat. If you ever see white in a captain, it's because of that. They always will be wearing white, and they are really, really covered. That's what I actually plan. Like I have a plan of everybody kind of has to have the same type of vibe, if you get what I'm saying. I have here a paper of what you can spend depending on the category. So like high class, which is basically most of the time captains, they have a jacket, a cape, they have hats, they have they look very fancy. They have like, how do you say that, pañuelos? I don't know, fancy stuff. They look super fancy, like literally a captain, but with whatever else vibe of what they like. So the high class people, the warriors, are the type of one that all they do is, in video games they tell you critical attacks. Yeah, that's the way they do. all they do is give you critical attack after critical attack after critical attack. They are really heavy, really good, and strategic. Even though she's like all these amazing variant, you can see it how she's covered and all that stuff. I wanted her to have a very sweet face. That's why I remember I saw a lot of people with putting a little bit of blush in their nose and their cheeks. That's what I did to her, to put a little blush in her cheeks and her nose. I made those tiny braids not bread, braids, braids that some Afro-American use. I just like them. I wish I could do that in my hair. I mean, I think I can, but I haven't been able to. And I prefer to like make her hair red. I don't know, something about her vibe told me she will probably 100% will have red hair, eyeshadow, all this stuff, and she has sparkles. I love putting sparkles everywhere. If you haven't noticed, I'm sad to tell you, a drawing on mine is not a drawing on mine without thick lines, white lines, sparkle, eyelashes, and thick tights. Everything must be thick. Oh my goodness. You know what is the most funny thing? I put so much love in this design, and she's a background character, but she's the girlfriend of one of the protagonists. So I will let it to you to figure out that one. Who is? I don't know. But don't think about like she's a background character, like she's not important. When I say that, it's like they move the plot, but everybody moves the plot. Everybody has a reason and why and how. But she's not like somebody we follow and see from their perspective. We see a little bit of her, you get to know her, but she's not like an NPC. Like I had literally my NPC characters, they do nothing. They're just there. I probably will give them a cool design, but I will not think too much about them. In here of her, I have a past for her, a why and how and everything for her. It's just she's not, a protagonist of the story. She's in the background. Now, thinking about that cape that I did to her, I think that was gonna be a pain for animators to do and to myself to draw, because they did. But I don't care. It looks fabulous. It's going. It's going, okay? They had to have something they are like special for. And you might notice that in this drawing, I actually didn't like struggle like in the other one. I still cannot handle how much I struggle with the feet, because if you see here, I didn't struggle with the feet. Who knows? This type of drawings, I used to do it a lot in my fashion classes, like that position. And before that, I used to do so many characters in poses like that, very simple, and kind of the fashion clothes right beside. Like it was a thing I did a lot. So this type of drawing is really easy and masterful for me. That's why now I try more to do really more complex and perspective drawings, which you will see that I try to do like 5 things at the same time, perspective and everything. But now we're going to the fun stuff, because we are drawing the weapon. You thought I was gonna draw just a character? No, it's the character with the weapon, with the clothes, everything is necessary. So my weapons, I actually did a whole system, how they work and how it goes. So hold on in there, let me explain to you this in the most short way, easy possible way to explain it. I will give it a video completely so you can get the vibe of the system, but from the top. So how the weapons work is they are your normal weapons, they're infused with magic and whatever, but then they are your complex weapons. Now, what are complex weapons? There are weapons that are infused with special power, and only like 50% of people can do that, and the other 50% cannot. So it's a 50-50 chance. So in humans specifically, which is what she is, in humans, yes, her hair is painted red. Oh, not red, she's a redhead. I just choose the most bright red because I like bright colors. But anywho, The weapons of the humans usually they are called feeling break. Now, what is a feeling break? A feeling break usually involves an object where the human has a lot emotional behind. For example, it's not because the object is more the feeling of towards somebody gave it to you or what it means to you in your life. So, for example, it could be a jewelry that your mom gave you, and that holds a meaningful for you, so that will become a weapon. What type of weapon? Well, that will depend on your class, but it will become a weapon. So in her case, her weapon is actually a shovel toy from the beach, literally. But with feeling break, it becomes a shovel weapon, like shovel knife. And that's literally what it happens to 50% of the population that became a warrior, because not everybody wants to become a warrior because it's a horrible job and nobody really, people are doing it because they get paid a lot, but not really because they want to do that, because it's dangerous. But the economy, how it goes, is very towards becoming a warrior, and most of the people that don't have enough money, they become warriors. So most of them are, don't have enough economy, so this is the only way they can have a good life, and get what they want without going doing stuff horrible for them, basically. So it's a bad deal. Also, the weapons, all of them, there are a limit of 5 powers and 1 final. I think that should be very easy to understand. The final is like this special attack they can use only 3 times. After that, they go berserk. At the end, they will die. So if you use it too much, you'll special, you will end up dead. That's it. Boom. The end. Don't use your weapon too much or you will die. The cases of people not dying after using their special more than 3 times is very limited. Honestly, I enjoy doing the weapons and the power and how they work and all this stuff. And if you were maybe thinking, is there a power level in this story? Not really. So there are levels. Clearly a captain will definitely defend a normal soldier, but it's all more about a strategy. Strength comes in the plot. If you're really, really strong, yeah, that could help you a lot. But it's mainly strategy and how they work through it and the stress levels they have in the moment, how they're going. So because if they lose, their patience or how you say it, their thinking in the moment. If they lose it in the moment, that will cost their life and they will lose the battle and they can die. So you have to be focused in the battle, because how the battles are like, how I can explain this, well, literally how it will be in real life. Like when you're in the military, you cannot think too much, so these are like fast-paced battles. Like it's back and forward. There is not too much time to be talking and stuff, because I don't really like them talking. I want to see more like really cool action. You can see how this can become a really expensive anime. So now I'm gonna give the finishing touches to this drawing so we can admire on entirely all his glory. Well, the weapon is almost done and my mama is ready to whoop your ass. Don't worry, I got more, because I'm gonna do artwork on her. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be nothing like this. Nothing. It's gonna be beautiful. So stay tuned for that next week. Bye bye. See you again, my wild animals of art. Mwah.